70 million people worldwide are estimated to be living with celiac disease, but the real number of people silently struggling with gut dysfunction, inflammation, fatigue, brain fog, and autoimmune issues is likely far higher. This isn't just about gluten. This is about what modern life is doing to the human body. Today, we go deep into the gut, the nervous system, inflammation, and the silent health crisis most people still don't fully understand.
Hello, everyone. It's Cameron again. I'm here with Dr. Chris Cormier, and today's talk is going to be on celiac disease. Hello, Dr. Cormier.
Hi, Cameron.
For people listening that may not know, what exactly is celiac disease?
So it's an autoimmune disorder, and you want to think of it as gluten is a man-made ingredient that they put into certain foods, or like you want to think like bread. They're trying to stick it together and make it stick. If you're swinging a pizza around, there's gluten in there that kind of holds it together. That's part of what holds it together. So this gluten has become intolerant in people because remember, we have this amazing God-made body that has all this God-made software to actually digest God-made foods.
Yes.
But gluten's not one of those. So sometimes a man-made food can offset things. And when you get that gluten going down, it gets in the small intestine and it's trying to absorb, but it doesn't know how to. And it causes this whole reaction to happen.
Why do you think so many people are struggling with gut issues, inflammation, food sensitivities, and autoimmune conditions?
So when it comes specifically to the gut, I think we're here at the Nerve Health Institute. This is my clinic, and for many years we've been talking about the brain to gut connection. So you want to think of if this is your power company, it's wired to trillions of cells throughout your body, and those cells could be muscle cells, organ cells, gland cells, skin cells, bone cells. Everything's wired to the brain. It's crazy to think that way, but that's how we are. So many people out there nowadays are talking about the brain to gut connection, but they don't really have an application for it other than just taking some supplements. Well, we have an application where we are able to test the power to each part, all those cell groups, and just make sure that they haven't lost power. So you can imagine in this particular disease with celiac, it could be that the small intestine had some type of stress happen to it, right? And the stress could be environmental stress, like it could be a food, it could be something that they ate that turned off some of the cells there and made the brain lose power to the small intestine cells. And so those cells, they can't do their job as much. And things like a gluten can irritate it and make it worse. So we have the capacity to reconnect those things and make it better to where the body can process certain things that it couldn't before.
Is celiac disease just a digestive issue, or does it affect the whole body and the nervous system?
So again, when something is affecting, I think everybody knows this to a certain degree, when something's affecting your gut, it almost affects everything, right? So you don't feel good. And because, the way God designed our bodies, he designed our bodies to eat God-made food. And so if all of us just ate God-made food from the start of when we're born, all the way through, we probably wouldn't have a whole lot of digestive issues. But because we have so much of this man-made stuff around us and chemicals and toxins and pollutants and additives and preservatives, and there's so many different things that we don't have the software to process, in addition to emotional stresses and physical stresses. It could be somebody that punched you in the belly or you hit your belly on something. It could also be like an emotional stress like we talked about, and that could shut off power to parts of your gut, and then when that starts to shut off, all kinds of other things shut off because you just don't feel good.
I think a lot of people with gut issues make excuses that it's just normal. Is it normal for people out there to have all these symptoms?
Not at all. And most people, I think too, it's like they go for many years a lot of times, and we see some that have it at an early age, but we see some that go for many years and they don't have any gut issues, and all of a sudden they start to have one. And then nobody fixes it. They don't do the right things to fix it. So then the next thing you know, they just kind of accept it that they have it. Hey, I'm going to eat something and go straight to the bathroom every time. And that's just me. And it shouldn't be that way at all.
Very true. You often talk about the body's ability to self-heal and self-regulate. What interferes with that process?
So remember, self-healing is the greatest gift we've ever been given. And it's this God-given body we have that has the full capacity to heal itself. And unfortunately, we have stressors that interfere with that process throughout our life. So not only are stressors there, but nobody's born with a perfect set of cells. We all have genetic defects, some more than others. And then from the moment you start living, you have physical stresses, you have emotional stresses, and you have environmental stresses that can literally knock the health off in any one of those cells throughout your body. And the more that you don't fix whatever that is, let's just say it's in the small intestine, well, maybe you start with just something that shuts some of the cells off. It could be some gluten that started some of the cells. And then from that point, if you don't fix that or strengthen the gut to that gluten, then what ends up happening is anything that the gluten's in, it could be the wheat or all the other things associated with the bread or the pasta or whatever you're eating that has gluten. Your body starts to get sensitive to everything, and the next thing you know, instead of just one sensitivity or weakness, you have 100 or 500.
You work a lot with cellular connections, making sure to get the cellular energy restored. Are there any foundational pillars that you use to get the cells restored?
Yeah. So again, when it comes to the body, I think it's hard for me to imagine that we're in this age where we're so smart, but yet people don't know basic ingredients. And I think the pharmaceutical world has done a wonderful job of making you believe that you should take a pill for everything, that every condition revolves around a pill, but that's actually not how our bodies work. So technically the top ingredient in every human being, 65% of every human being, is oxygen gas. And that's why you can do without a lot of things you can't do without breathing. So none of us breathe enough. We don't know we're breathing anymore. So over time, groups of cells get low in oxygen, they get sick. Then you also have water. We should be 60% water. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not. And then some people, the quality of their water is really bad. So we have ways of helping with that. And then light energy is number 3. I call it the top 3 pillars. And so light energy is keeping your brain connected to your cells, which is complicated. But we have a lot of different ways we do that. And then there's also like frequency, which is so important. It's like guitar string frequency of your cells. So each cell, like your heart cells, have a different frequency than the small intestine cells, than the liver cells, than the femur cells. Every cell group has different frequencies. And so the frequencies get distorted in today's world with all the interference. So we have all kinds of methods and devices to be able to restore frequency to cells. Then you also have magnetism, which is grounding. And so many people get low in magnetism because they're just not touching planet Earth anymore like we should with our feet. And then there's also nutrients that you could be deficient in, so many different nutrients. And then we also have detoxification. And detoxification is incredibly important nowadays, just because it's impossible not to have a ton of toxins get in your system. So we have all these advanced routes to be able to help with those things.
You touched a little on this earlier, but I do want to get your full opinion. How important is the brain to gut connection when it comes to overall well-being?
So a lot of people talk about the brain to gut being, or the gut being a second brain. But in my opinion, the gut's a third brain. The second brain is the heart, because the two most important parts of the body are the brain and the heart. And we want your brain connected to your cells, and we want your heart connected to your cells. And especially we want your brain connected to your heart and your heart connected to your brain. So the same applies for the third brain, which would be the gut. So the gut is extremely important for so many different reasons. And people that have a lot of gut issues, celiac can be a pretty serious thing. And the people are just miserable that have this condition, especially living in the United States, because it's so hard to not eat bad. I mean, I tell people all the time, there's so many things in our food. It's hard to trust what's in it anymore. So these conditions, the brain to gut is so important for overall health, and when it's not working properly, if you wait too long, one problem will turn into 100 if you're not careful.
Celiac used to be something that was pretty rare, actually, and it seems like it's on the rise now, sadly, with a lot of other autoimmune conditions. What connection is there? Why are there so many more people coming with these things?
So just regarding autoimmune, when I first started practicing, almost 30 years ago, there was only a handful of named autoimmune conditions, and now there's close to 200
Very true.
named conditions. So in my opinion, autoimmune, what the way they're talking about autoimmune from a conventional side, they're saying that the immune system erroneously is attacking healthy cells. In my opinion, that's not what's happening at all. The body is protecting itself. It's doing exactly what God intended. It's actually not attacking good cells, healthy cells. It's attacking bad cells. So instead of turning the immune system off like they do from the conventional side, we work on the bad cells so that the body doesn't attack those bad cells. I mean, to me, that's a more common sense root cause approach than it is just going and doing that conventional side of lowering. Plus, when you lower your immunity, you're more at risk for other problems. Obviously, a ton of problems because we need that immune system.
We talked a lot about what you would do to help at your clinic, the Nerve Health Institute, but you also have at-home help with body chargers. Care to touch on that a little bit for us?
Yes. So we always want to give our patients everything we have here at the Nerve Health Institute, and it started out where I would do all these things for me and my family at home because I didn't have all the tools we have here, so I had to have things for home. And we literally have gone through every imaginable thing over the years. I've driven my wife crazy over the years, through either supplements or devices or methods or techniques to be able to fix our family. When things, if we were on vacation, we had something, somebody had something, I had to be able to fix it, right? Or if we're at a sporting event, we had to fix it. Or wherever we were, somebody got sick, we had to do things to fix it. So all of those things over those decades that I've filtered down to what I feel is the best of the best of the best. Those, we have devices, we have methods, we have techniques, we have all these things you could do on a platform for home. And it's the even beautiful, the more beautiful part is it's with a community. So you have a community of people because people need community. They need like-minded people all together helping each other. And that's what this community is about. But it has all of my wisdom and resources over all these years. So you don't have to use Dr. Google. You don't have to, go rely on some of these other doctors online. It's literally the best of the best in one platform for home to be able to help you and your family 24/7.
And I'm assuming for this particular condition that there is some things on there for
Oh my
them.
goodness, yes. There's so much there. I mean, we have little devices that fit in your pocket that can reset frequency to the small intestine. There's so many little exercises you could do at home that you just can't find on Google that are all just things we've discovered over many thousands and thousands of patient visits just trying to figure it out over the years.
Is there any advice that you would give to someone listening that possibly has celiac disease or any other autoimmune condition that just feels lost?
In this world, it is incredibly important to find the right doctor that's going to listen to you, that's going to understand your condition, that's going to not only listen and understand, but have actual ways to fix you. Because I can be the best listener and act like I'm, talking about the brain to gut or whatever. But if I don't have an application to fix you or just give you a bunch of pills, whether it's supplements or medications, it's not really getting to the root cause. So I think finding the right doctor nowadays is critical. And then also the lifestyle methods at home, the devices, the methods, the techniques, the choices you're making at home matter more than ever. And so if somebody out there with celiac or an autoimmune condition, there's absolute hope that your body can reverse this. I didn't make your body. I'm not responsible for healing the body. Your body is, and it's God made, and it's perfectly designed, and it has the full capacity to heal. You just have to use the right resources, and I feel like that's what we have.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Cormier. That does conclude our talk for today.
If this podcast spoke to you, or if you feel like you have family members or friends that have these types of conditions that could benefit from this particular technology, then all you need to do is become a Body Chargers member or tell them about Body Chargers. Remember, it's our community that I created to help people at home with the best technologies in the world to be able to help you to self-heal your body at home and maximize your self-healing. So go to Body Chargers, become a member. That's the easiest way to get this done. And we look forward to serving you and you and your family. Also, if you want a higher level of care, we have the Nerve Health Institute you can always come to. That's our clinic where we have higher level services here to be able to help you. So I hope you enjoy, and we look forward to serving you and your family, and look forward to our next podcast.